Hello, guitar nuts, one and all. I'm Steve. Welcome to episode 14 of Guitar Nuts Anonymous. I believe it's episode 14. You know me, always keeping up on the homework. So, tomorrow is Thanksgiving. So I thought I would just wish, that's for those of us in the United States, thought I'd wish all of you here in the United States happy Thanksgiving. And those of you elsewhere, well, have a happy Thursday. Because why not? As you saw from the title, Bowling a Perfect 300. You could probably guess what that's about. We've broken the threshold of 300 subscribers. In fact, we blew right past it. We're somewhere in like the three and some teens, I think, right now. Which is cool. Growing community. It's awesome. So, speaking of Thanksgiving, I'm sure some of you out there, at least, of the 300 plus of you, are keeping an eye open for Black Friday deals, specifically on guitars, no doubt. And I thought I would mention, of course, I too am looking, not that I need anything, mind you, but it's never stopped me before. I did find one really good deal, and you don't have to wait for Friday. It's the entire month, 30 days. It's probably all the way until Christmas. But anyway, if you go to godps.com, it's the home of Sawtooth Guitars, famous for being endorsed by Michelangelo Badio. Everything in their Black Sabbath sale, as they're calling it, is 50% off. And I had one of their deluxe hybrid Telecasters a while back. I just got rid of it because I didn't need it, not because there was anything wrong with it whatsoever. It was a great guitar, just fabulous fretwork. Just great all around. I can definitely recommend their guitars. Anyway, it's all 50% off. So that means all the way down to their normally $200 Stratocaster copies that normally sell, they're 20% off or whatever, $179. You can get one right now for about $90. And it's easily comparable to a mid-level Squire or even better. Which it costs you somewhere in the vicinity of nearly $300 around now. So if you're looking for a cheap, Strat, either for a gift for somebody, for a backup guitar for yourself, something to restring in one of the various ways that we discussed a couple episodes back to spark your creativity, maybe a Nashville tune or something, whatever, $90. And they've got Sunburst and with a maple fretboard, and Daphne Blue with a maple fretboard. And both look pretty good to me. I'm not buying one because Lord knows I don't need another cheap guitar, but not a bad deal at all. 300 of us out there. How cool is that? And most of you are very positive. Keeping most. Actually, I think the subscribers are all positive. There are plenty of other people watching, as I see, because we get 1,000 viewers or more on an episode and only 300 subscribers. Still getting a bit of negativity from some people about the whole Chipson issue. On the other hand, we're now up to 21 people who've emailed me to inquire about how to get one from Ming themselves. So that's, what are you going to do? It's human nature to complain, I guess. Speaking of Chipsons, and mine in particular, I realized I haven't shown mine on the channel since I finished upgrading it, putting on the new bridge and everything, and well, here it is with the intonable Wilkinson bridge. Got to tell you, I don't remember who it was who got onto the discussion down there at the bottom of the page and said something about another $300 wall hanger or something like that. This guitar, in so much as I get to play every day, this guitar gets picked up every day and played. I couldn't be happier with it. Honestly, I couldn't. My 80s alternative cover band, Raygun, is doing a show this Saturday, and that'll be my primary guitar for the show. So, so much for being a wall hanger or a waste of money or whatever else. It's getting used, and I love it. It's great. I genuinely feel no need to own a Gibson Les Paul anymore. That does everything that I would want one to do. without the $2,000 plus price tag for the one I was looking at. The fretwork's better. So make of that what you will. Let's see, what other news besides Black Friday? I wish I had more Black Friday stuff to tell you about, but I can tell you there's going to be a ton of it. Because as I mentioned when I showed you those mini boxes episode ago or so, there's just boatloads, literally, of stock that have come in for all the major manufacturers. And they're going to have to dump it, at substantial discounts, either directly through the companies, in the case of Fender and Box, or through major retailers, your Guitar Centers, Sam Ash, the major catalog dealers, Sweetwater, Music 123, I think they're still around, Musician's Friend, which is, basically Guitar Center, and Guitar Center, So there'll be deals out there to be had if you're looking for anything, either for yourself or for a gift, so that's cool. Other big news, it seems that baritone guitars, which in the past have been a very niche thing, and, a couple of people bother to have one, they're becoming very big, especially with the younger and heavier crowd. Practically every manufacturer is now offering a baritone, even up to and including D'Angelico, who's offering, hollow body, arch top, jazz type guitars in baritone variations. I've been bitten by the baritone bug pretty hard myself. Y'all already know about my Bass 6, which I finished customizing. It's going to be my Gizmo bass as soon as I get the Gizmotron mounted. But, little update on my life. I worked 7 to 8 hours last week, which as a chauffeur, to be honest, I'm not even entirely sure it's legal, but it's good insofar as it lets me put away some money for the lean months, which start right now. I went from 7 to 8 hours last week to I'll be lucky to get 20 this week, and it'll probably stay about that way, until February. It's just the nature of the beast here. The tourism falls off, and chauffeur is kind of pointless if he has no one to drive. So, anyway, what brought that in? Oh, I was going to explain how come this hasn't been done yet with the Gizmotron. Gizmotron's still in the box. It will come out and go on this, but you'll find that I'm the kind of guy that if I have something I really like and intend to use a lot, I'll want to have a backup as well. And this is no exception. I got a backup Bass 6 Squire, and saw a suggestion on a Facebook group, Baritone Obsessed, which also is a really great YouTube channel, Baritone Obsessed, hosted by a guy who calls himself The Bun. If you're interested in low-tune guitars at all, check it out. I highly recommend it. It's very entertaining. He's a very engaging guy, and if you like heavy music, he does some great heavy music. Anyway, the suggestion was made that you could get a set of baritone strings and restring one of these as a baritone, either B to B or A to A or lower. Well, I tried it. I restrung this one as B to B and played it all the time for the last 2 weeks. Every time since I've done it, I picked it up. I feel like song ideas are just falling out of me from the damn thing, and which is cool. As a songwriter, anything that sparks my creativity is a great thing, But it's a little bit unwieldy. It's not really intended to be, a baritone. It's intended to be a, 6-string bass. It works, but it's, like I said, it's a little unwieldy. So when a listener who's the name and viewer, who escapes my mind who it was, suggested that I do a review of this brand called Firefly guitars. Apparently they put out really inexpensive but decent quality copies of Fenders and Gibsons and whatever else. I actually owned one of their ES335 copies for a while. Great guitar. Top-notch fretwork and everything else. I think I paid $189 for it. The only reason I sold it was because I wasn't really using it, and some guy locally offered me $200 for it. It's kind of a no-brainer. So, but anyway, someone mentioned that I should do a review of one. I wish I would have reviewed that one while I still had it, but it just didn't occur to me. So I thought, yeah, I can get a hold of a, it's inexpensive enough that most of their guitars are under $200. I can get a hold of a Firefly and do a review of it. So I was taking a look at them to figure out which one to review. Turned out that they have a baritone Telecaster, similar to what Squire offers for, roughly half the price of the Squire. In this case, this bad boy right here, Telecaster with a humbucker and a pair of regular Telechrome neck pickups, 27 and I think a 1/3 inch scale baritone. I thought, yeah, I'll get one of these because this is a guitar that's meant to be a baritone. It should be more comfortable to play than the restrung bass 6. So I got one, and very, very happy, very happy with the quality. It was $169 plus $29 shipping, which was beyond fair. The fit and finish is all pretty good. Very little to complain about. I'm going to do a full review of it, but I just wanted to let you know, if you're interested in, something like this, check out Firefly. The only thing I'd point out is this showed up with a set of 10 gauge strings on it, like for a standard guitar, which are useless for a baritone because you can't tune them down. I mean, it's just pointless. And the nut was cut for those 10 gauge strings. So I wound up ordering baritone strings and having to do a little work to the nut to make it fit. But regardless, here it is. And this is what I've been playing every morning, and the songs are still falling out. So apparently it's not the bass 6 restrung that's causing the creativity. It's just the low range of the baritone. So yeah, this is my budget baritone. I'm going to restring that bass 6 again back to a 6-string bass, so I have 2 of them, one for a backup. And spoiler, I have actually ordered a high-end baritone guitar. I guess this will just be a backup or a beater, but I've I bought on Reverb something called, of all things, this is a Firefly, something from Japan called a Dragonfly, from a company called Harry's Engineering, which sounds very Japanese, right? Which is a whopping 31-inch scale, and it looks it. So it should be interesting. I got it for roughly 1/4 of its value because it's used, but in mint condition, so stay tuned to check that out. But anyway, if you're interested in baritones, you want to dip your toe, you could do a whole lot worse than one of these for 169 bucks. So there's that. And yes, there'll be a full review and demo of that thing. Speaking of reviews and demos, I had talked about the Voxes in a previous episode here. The Vox mini guitars, the Mini Mark III, mentioned that the one that I had purchased a pair of them, the one that I was trying to review, I couldn't get to play in tune. Not meaning that it was going out of tune, meaning that because of the nut being high, chords wouldn't go into tune to each other, even after the intonation had been set perfectly, on a stroke tuner. So I unboxed the marble finished one, but actually talked about the seafoam green one because it's the one that I've been trying to play. Well, it turns out the marbled one didn't have the same issue. Let me grab that. Here it is. It doesn't have the high nut. It still has a little bit of that issue where one chord doesn't exactly sound in tune to the other, even though it's intonated properly. I think it just might be down to the short scale and the fact that I have really acute hearing. I can hear small pitch discrepancies that some people would probably just let go, but I'm going to work on it a little more, and this will be what I'll take with me on the job to work on songs and stuff in between trips, because I often have an hour or more in between my trips, and or when I go on long distance trips, sometimes I'll have hours to sit with nothing better to do than stare at my phone or listen to a audiobook or something, and this will come in handy. But do stay tuned. There will be a full review and demo with sound clips and everything of these, well, one of these. Put that back. Alrighty. Let's see. So that's the update on that. I updated you on the Gizmotron bass. Um, so here's something interesting. This will be the first ever installment, maybe the only installment, who knows, of gift ideas for the guitar player. I purchased something I mentioned in a previous episode, something called the Guitar Joe. It's a little gadget that attaches to your electric guitar and makes it sound, theoretically, like a banjo. I'll put a close-up picture of what the thing looks like right over here. But yeah, I ordered one. It was, $29, I think, and $10 shipping, something like that. And flip this on. And here it is attached to my G&L Espada. You can see it's kind of hard to make out exactly how it works, but little tiny fingers, each with a little felt pad on the bottom, that come down and make contact with the string and are supposed to offer sort of a banjo tone. Now, as to whether or not that's accurate, that's up to you to decide, but to my ear, it almost sounds a little like a sitar. Actually, it sounds a lot like a sitar now that I think about it, now I hear it on here. But so it's not terribly banjo-like, but it is interesting, and I could see places where that might come into use in a studio setting, or just to mess around with. So that's right. For the low, low price of only $29 and $10 shipping, you too can make your $2,500 guitar sound like a $50 yard sale banjo. So who wouldn't want that, right? But all kidding aside, it is kind of a cool gadget, and I can't not hear it as a sitar now. Maybe this thing actually does have a real value in a way that wasn't intended. For those of you out there that don't want to invest in a, electric sitar from Dan Electro, or one of the pedals or synthesizers that kind of fake the sound, this is a interesting thing about this gadget. It's very position dependent because all it's doing is making contact with the strings. The farther up you get on the neck, the less you get up here. It doesn't do anything really, because the strings are pushed down below the felt pads. So you basically have to decide where on the neck you're going to be playing, and then adjust the fingers so that they make the pressure in the right place. But it like I said, it has some uses. You might have a hankering to play Herman's Hermits. Mrs. Brown, you've got an ugly daughter. Anything's possible, right? So, yeah, the Guitar Joe. Buy one for yourself, buy one for a friend, buy one as a gag gift for that special someone. Or, buy one for someone that would seriously use it. Who knows? But it's an interesting gift idea, and they often say you should buy something for someone that they wouldn't buy for themselves, and well, not a lot of people would probably buy one of these for themselves, but they would take one as a gift, right? So that's cool. I don't have much else to say, to be honest with you. I just wanted to make sure to get in an episode, for Thanksgiving, and because I haven't talked to you in 2 weeks, but if you'd seen my schedule, you'd understand why. And that's really all I have to say, except, of course, as usual, you know what I'm going to say. I'd like you to subscribe if you haven't already, if you're watching. I'd like you to ring the bell for notifications. Make some comments down below. Tell me what you want to see, what you'd like me to talk about, if there's something you'd like me to review. If you're anybody besides Bal, you're happy to offer to make a contribution financially to the show so we can get more stuff on to look at. And the reason I say anybody besides Bal is because, darn it, you've already contributed enough. and I love you for it. Yeah, subscribe, comment, ring the bell. Tell me what you want to see, what you want to hear. This is our community here. So there's over 300 of us now, which isn't huge, but I mean, everybody starts someplace, and if you really think about it, 300 is kind of an accomplishment. I started out, there were none, obviously, but that's pretty cool. And we're getting over 1,000 views per episode in a lot of cases, which means there's people out there that aren't subscribed that are watching as well, which, maybe they will eventually. But we're growing slowly, but we're growing. So, as I mentioned earlier, if you're in the United States, have a happy Thanksgiving. Otherwise, have a happy Thursday. Get out that guitar and play it. That's what it's for. Have fun. And enjoy your time off if you have time off. If you don't, try to enjoy the day anyhow. Till next time, this is Steve, the Guitar Nut. Stay frosty, stay cool, chime on, and I'll talk to you real soon, alrighty? Take care.